Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Join us on Twitter, Cascade Hoop Talk. Hey, we're thrilled today to have Junior Arrey, first team All-American, played at West Virginia Tech. He scored over 1,200 points at West Virginia Tech, over 350 assists. Part of that great team last year that went 30-5. This year went 15-1 in River State's play. Welcome, Junior. I appreciate you being on.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Junior, I've got to ask you about Lincoln High School at Gahanna, Ohio. You grew up in Blacklick, which was, you explained to me, was right next to Gahanna. But you played on a heck of a high school team, and it included Nick Ward, who starred over at Michigan State. Talk about that team.
Oh, no, I was blessed and happy to be on that type of team, to be honest with you. It was just great competing every day with some of the top-ranked high school players in the nation, and it was just a phenomenal feeling. I was just honestly blessed and thankful I had the opportunity to play for them.
As I was kind of reading about you, I found a story about a game at Pinkerton Central, and the observers to the game said it sounded like a corporate jet taking off. Do you remember that night?
Oh, I can never forget it, honestly. It was I'm not gonna lie. It's always a great atmosphere playing against your rival, Pinkerton Central. It's pretty much the winner of that game always gonna win the conference that year. And I know a lot of my buddies go there, and we always train with them. And honestly, they knew the game was serious, and we knew the game was serious. So of course, every single time we played them, it's always gonna be sold out.
And it was loud in there, right?
Oh, you can't even hear your own heartbeat. You can't hear something.
But you beat them by 10 or something. They tried to make a run at you.
Yes, sir, we did.
That's always pretty special to beat a rival, isn't it? Especially in their place.
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world.
After you got out of high school, you had to decide where you're going to go to college. Talk about the decision to go to West Virginia Tech.
Oh, great question. So, coming out of high school, they actually had me ranked as a 2-star out of Columbus. So, I was kind of angry about that. So that really gave me a chip on my shoulder. So, when college started to reach out to me, I just didn't know where I was gonna be a good fit at. And for some reason, I guess I started to get hot and started getting offers in the state of West Virginia, a lot of offers in the state of West Virginia. So then on Twitter, some guy named Bob Williams followed me on Twitter. And I was like, okay, cool, he's a college coach. Let me DM him. So me and him started messaging each other back and forth. We were talking. And then he said, why don't you come take a visit April 2nd to campus? So I was like, okay, cool, yeah, we can do that. So I took a visit there April 2nd. I don't know what it is, but, I just enjoyed it. It just felt like home to me for some reason. So then, around April 13th, exactly April 13th, that's when I committed to West Virginia Tech.
So you went there. And last season, we got to talk about last season. You guys had kind of a dream season.
Yes.
You went 30-5. That was a team had Elijah Boone, Brandon Shingles.
Oh, that team was very special. I think that was the best team Tech ever had, in my opinion. Going 30-5 and then finishing ranked third in the nation. It was crazy. In practice, we always competed. There was never a off day. There was never, everyone kept going at each other's necks and heads, and it was a great atmosphere to be around.
Elijah Boone, he was a rebounding machine, but he also pulled down 700 points, 650 rebounds. Him and Brandon Shingles together, that must have been a heck of a pair to play with, huh?
Yeah. Brandon, a sharpshooter. That man doesn't miss. It feels like whenever I pass him the ball, that ball is always gonna go in. He's a phenomenal player. Then Elijah Boone, he was a solid player, great teammate, definitely a vocal leader, and he definitely did the job done. He definitely got the job done when needed.
So last season in Sioux Falls, you lost to Briarcliff in the second round. They shocked you, actually.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, it had to have been really tough. There was a big crowd for Briarcliff like there always is there in Sioux Falls. How determined were you coming back after that loss?
To be honest with you, I was devastated we lost. For I think a week straight, I didn't talk to anybody. I was sulking. I was in so much pain because I just knew that last year, we should have won it all. In my personal opinion, I thought we were going to win the whole damn thing, honestly, and I was very hurt. So that summer coming in, I was like, I don't want that same feeling like I had last year. I'm going to get in the gym and bust my butt off until I'm back to nationals. And this time at nationals, I'm going to win the whole thing.
So you came back for this season. You had some wind in your face, though. You lost a lot of firepower. Coach Williams left. They brought in a new young coach over from West Virginia. You didn't know what to expect. What were you thinking as you stepped in and, started getting ready for the season?
Oh, I mean, that new coaching thing, whatever, that wasn't going to phase me, or that wasn't going to get in my way. I had a goal in mind, and I was going to achieve that goal regardless of the coaching situation.
So you started out, there wasn't a lot of expectations for you. I know you had them, but a lot of people were saying, okay, West Virginia Tech's probably going to have a down year. You started out 2-4. You went up to Fort Wayne. You took a couple thumpings up there. What was that bus ride back to Beckley like? You were 2-4 and just got beat twice up in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, before I even get into that, like, it's crazy because this year I had a couple of people say to my face, and a couple of, like, coaches even saying, like, oh, yeah, this is definitely going to be a rebuilding year, you guys would be lucky if you guys are even 500 in the conference and all that. So, that really set me off, and that really frustrated me. So then, during how we had what you were saying, had that slow start in the beginning, I started to believe the doubters. And I was like, man, maybe they are right. Maybe we aren't going to have a good year. Maybe we are going to have a rebuilding year. And then when we went to Fort Wayne and got blown out twice out over there, we were hurt. Everyone was hurt. We started pointing fingers. We started blaming each other. We started blaming the coaching staff. All the things possible when things aren't going your way. And on the way back, it was just quiet. Everyone didn't know. Everyone was just hurt and devastated because we thought we weren't going to have the year that we're going to have.
But after that loss, you guys ended up going on a 5-game winning streak. So what turned that around?
Oh, we had a team meeting, and everyone just had to buy in. In the beginning of the season, no one truly bought into the system Coach Long had. And once we bought in, once we sat together, and once we started playing for each other and have chemistry, it started to take off. And then we saw the potential we had as a team.
So then you went on a 5-game winning streak, like I said. And then IU East in December was coming up to Beckley. And IU East had been kind of a power in the River States for a long time. I'm sure you were looking forward to that game. They dropped you for your only regular season conference loss. I mean, what were you thinking after that game?
Oh, after that game, I knew. I even told some of my team, I said, yo, when it comes to Beckley, that's not going to happen. It's going to be the other way around. Like, we're not losing. I promise you, I'm not losing twice to IU East in the same year. All the years I've been at Tech, I never lost twice in the same year. Well, the years I played, since, I tore my ACL my sophomore year, but the years I played, either we split or we won out. So I made sure that wasn't going to happen.
And let me correct myself. You lost to IU East at IU East.
Yes, correct.
You went 15-1 in conference.
Yes.
You and I talked a little bit before. There was a couple of key games in there. One of them was IU Southeast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, talk about that.
IU Southeast is also a powerhouse in the River States Conference, and we went to IU Southeast, and to be honest, IU Southeast doesn't lose at home. Like, it's a hard place to play. Like, they play extremely well at home. And going into that game, I was so locked in. I was so focused. I'm like, I'm not going home without a win. And luckily, the team rallied together and we got the job done. And I thought that was one of the main key games of our season turning around, in my opinion.
Well, you were really focused in that game. You scored 31 points, 11 rebounds, almost had a triple-double. You had 7 assists.
Oh, I'm telling you, I was gonna win by any means. Like, people are gonna have to drag me off the court unless we're gonna win the game. That simple. I'm not getting off the court until I win, and I made sure it was gonna happen. Because I was a leader, I was a captain of the team, and had to lead by example. And I told everyone just to follow my lead, and we'll get the job done.
So you won that game at Southeast. You also had a 3-point nail biter with Alice Lloyd. Only a couple times you got tested. Yeah. Do you remember, you were up big against Alice Lloyd with, what was it, under a minute? I'm trying to remember now.
It was. Well,
and they pushed you to overtime. You guys kind of fell apart right at the end of regulation.
Yes, we did. No, Alice Lloyd, they're so underrated in the River States. That place is hard to play at. Pippa's passes, is no joke. You do not want to go over there and play there, man. The crowd gets into it. The student section harasses you. It's a great college atmosphere, honestly. But no, just like you're saying, if you want to really be honest with you, we shouldn't have won that game because they had momentum on their side, and the crowd was getting into it, and we started to shut down at the end. But luckily, went to overtime, and we were down by 6 in overtime. People don't realize that. Yeah, people didn't realize that, but we rallied together at the end, and we got the job done.
Where's the hardest place to play in the River States?
Oh man, great question. For me personally, I think I would say Alice Lloyd was tough for me. Rio Grande always has a loud atmosphere. You can never hear in that gym for some reason. That gym's so loud.
Okay.
IU East is not bad as a tough place to play as well.
As you continued through conference, you ended up 15-1 in conference. You lost that one road game to IU East. You guys just kept winning big game after big game after big game as the conference kind of plodded along. I remember as you were getting deeper into conference, and you were in a pretty tight battle for the conference championship. I remember friends of mine saying, well, they've got a big test now. They've got a big test. Everything was going to be a big test, and you just kept winning game after game. Talk about that role you were on.
Oh, man, we finally got our confidence. As we start winning these big games that people thought we weren't going to win, our confidence went out the roof. And, I say when you have confidence, the sky's the limit. And we started playing like we knew how to play. Everyone bought into the system. Everyone was sharing the ball. Everyone was cheering for each other. The energy in practice and on the road was just amazing. So when we started winning those games, we just knew no one can beat us when we actually play to our full potential.
So when you were on that, you got on that roll. Then the rematch with IU East came up. They were coming to Beckley. You had a 10-point lead with 6 minutes to go, but they have a guy named Bishop Smith who just kept hitting big shots. That thing went right down to the last possession. Talk about how determined you were that night.
Oh, man. For starters, man, that man Bishop Smith is a problem in the league. I'll get frustrated because we'll start pulling away. He'll come down, make 2 huge threes, bang, bang, and always cut the lead down. But, at the end of the day, we were definitely determined. And I give IU East head coach props. He definitely took me out the game that game. I couldn't score to save my life at all. And I was in foul trouble on top of that. So I just had to tell my team we got to win in different ways. And luckily, Dom King had a phenomenal game. Javante Hayes had an outstanding game. Andres Johnson had a great game. So I'm glad I had teammates I can rely on to get the job done.
Junior, were you surprised that a young coach, not only a new coach, but first time as a head coach, was able to come in and turn what everybody said was a rebuilding year into a conference championship year? Were you surprised by that?
Oh, without a doubt, I was surprised. Definitely. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. When I heard the news that we had a coach, a young coach, surprisingly, I actually played against him my freshman year, said that he was the new coach. I'm like, dang, this is not going to go well. Because for starters, he had no experience being a head coach. But he came to my house. He sat me and my family down. He says, I'm here to win games, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win games. And then as soon as he said it to me, I'm like, okay, this man's the real deal. I'm in his corner. Let's get this thing going. And, I'm glad he took Bob Williams' position, and he definitely proved a lot of people wrong.
In the semifinals of the conference tournament, so you won the regular season River States championship. It was a slug out. You really slugged it out with IU East and Kokomo. But you ended up falling to Kokomo in the conference tournament. So after that happened, how did it, number one, how disappointing was it? And then how did it change your preparation as you got ready to go to Sioux Falls?
Oh, I mean, it was beyond disappointing, It's just that game. And I knew it was going to happen. I knew our team was too hot. We weren't missing. We were making every single shot we were taking. So I was like, it was bound to happen that we're going to have a game that no shots were going to go in. And luckily it was the IU Kokomo game.
Yeah.
And I was definitely frustrated with that. We couldn't make any shots. But the team was definitely devastated by that loss. So then, after the loss in the locker room, coach was telling us that Now, honestly, you only have one game. You have one last game granted to you, so you gotta take it serious. So at practice, everyone bought in. Like I've been telling this whole phone call is that everyone just bought in, because if we didn't buy in, we wouldn't be in the position we are now.
Right.
And so we took practice so serious because we never knew when our last practice was gonna be. And we just practiced so hard. Everyone gave 110% every single time in practice.
How did you feel about your matchup with Grace?
Oh, I loved it. Playing against a Crossroads team. Oh, I love because people kind of say like the Crossroads team is like the ACC of NAIA,
Right.
And I want to prove everyone wrong. Like, okay, I don't care. You can be in the Crossroads conference. You're gonna get this work from West Virginia Tech regardless. People can argue saying, oh, you guys lost to Taylor. Oh, you guys lost to St. Francis. But that was the beginning of the year, and we didn't know our true identity. But now at the end of the year, I promise you, if we play those teams again, it'll be a whole different outcome.
I thought that Grace and West Virginia Tech were kind of similar. Both of them had lost. Legendary coaches had retired. Brand new coaches had come in, and they have both programs had really exceeded expectations with the new coaches. I thought they were very similar. You already know this, Junior, but I was really looking forward to that game. And
I know.
And I had went out and I had actually picked you guys. Didn't make some of my friends at Grace, because I respect Grace program very much as well. But I thought the fact that you guys were able to win big game after big game after big game told me that when the marbles were on the line, it was really hard to bet against you guys. But we never got to find out, did we?
No, we didn't. I'm kind of devastated about that, honestly.
So were you in the gym warming up? Where were you when you found out there was no more tournament?
Okay, so that's a great question. So we're pulling into the Pentagon, and as soon as we're getting out the car, like our coach said, stop. And then we're like all confused, like, what are you talking? He said the game's got canceled. And like my heart just dropped. Like I was so hurt when I heard the news. So then I contacted Coach French, who works at NAIA, and he was a phenomenal coach at Rio Grande. And I texted him and said, is this true? He said, unfortunately it is. I'm sorry. And I was so hurt. I just honestly couldn't handle my emotions at the time.
Well, I think you were in the same boat. I think there was a lot of just devastated individuals at that point.
Yeah, it was bad. It was rough.
Who was the toughest defender for you to score on in the River States?
Defender I had to score. Great question. I'll definitely give it to Garrett Silcott from IU East. He definitely gave me fits when they came to Beckley when I couldn't score. He definitely did a great job containing me. Who else? That's a great question. Because honestly, I had no issue scoring. And yeah, but if I had to pick one person, definitely be Garrett Silcott. He definitely gave me some problems here and there.
Who did you just not like having to guard?
I couldn't stand guarding Bishop. That man moved too much.
I can see that.
Yeah. That's the only person I just hated guarding. He just does not stop moving.
Yeah, and he could light you up.
Yeah, absolutely. Another person would definitely be McLean from Kokomo. That man, when he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
Spivey, also from Kokomo, he can just flat out play. Great ball player.
They have some great athletes, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Those three players, man, will give you a run for your money. Like, they know how to play. So,
Junior, have you thought at all about what life might look for you after college?
I started to think about that now since the basketball season was over. I can definitely see myself playing professionally overseas. And also, people don't realize like. So I'm an accounting major, and I'm starting to get some job offers as well in the accounting area. So it just depends where I'm more leaning towards.
I think you told me you're fixing to graduate here soon as well, aren't you?
Yeah, yes I am.
Well, whatever you do, you'll do really well at it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Had to be so disappointing that, and I guess everybody's in that boat, but to not be able to. I'm going to ask you, you might not be able to, because I'm shooting this to you cold, but some guys had their season end in Sioux Falls on the court, but it was with a loss. So if you had to choose, would you have the season end with a loss or the virus?
The virus, man. I hate losing. I
There you
can't
go.
stand losing. Yeah,
I
definitely
think
the virus.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, definitely the virus.
Well, Junior, I really appreciate you taking the time. I mean, West Virginia Tech had a great season. You had a great season. Yeah, you should be very proud. First team All-American. I mean, that's a quite of an honor.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for being on.
Thank you.